Hello, welcome to this video. Hi. Today we're not gonna do anything that I usually do on the channel. We're not gonna play video games. We're not gonna sing a song. We're going to react to a song, but this is not a first time reaction. I've listened to this song so many times, but I wanted to react to it, and I'm not a rapper. I will not react to it like rhyme schemes and that kind of stuff. There's a lot of really good rappers who did reaction to this song. Um, but I want to react to it from the same point of um, where I am in my life and where I am as a VTuber, and react to it from my own experience. So here we go.
We'd run right through those nights. I'll never find my way back to you. Inside this labyrinth of lights, there was madness in the meaning, never laughed less. We were screaming at the top of our lungs to the numbness. This city never died. I'll fly no through those heights. I'll never find another chance to say thanks for saving my life. I was hopeless, it was stinging, running roadless. We were singing at the top of our lungs to the numbness. This city never died.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it here. I'm gonna do a lot of stops, so if you're not into that, you can skip this video because I don't want to just play the song. You have to go and listen to it for yourself. Yeah. But just the beginning, you can tell this is gonna be a sad song, but at the same time, it has to do with dreams, right? The imagery is very dreamlike, and like she's talking about flying and being really like, but at the same time she's talking about being hopeless, things were hurting, and there was someone there to be like her pillar at the time. And I've had people like that when I was a teenager. I was not in the best mental space when I was a teenager. I had a lot of issues, and there was somebody there. I had a very close friend who kept me from doing something irreparable and who basically saved my life. So I do really understand this feeling. All right, let's continue.
What was the root of it all? I couldn't say. Used to jump in that fall, rugged and cliched. Would shrug it off without complaint, not a sound. I used to try to find friends, cause in the end nobody sticks around. It's when you shoved yourself into a crowded place that you turned around and found yourself in love in outer space. Cute reckless nights, no strings, laughing at our own dreams. Just what the hell was so funny?
Okay. So the first verse, I guess, talks a lot about being in a place where you have a lot of friends, but like friends that don't stick around, you know. You're in a place with a lot of people that just come and go in your life. For me, I had my family, which is very, very tight knit. Well, my mom's family is really tight knit. Part of my family isn't, but at the time I had, you know, friends. I had my family, and but friends. Once I left high school, friends decided to just come and go, right? Um, so once I moved out of high school and I moved out of my mom's house and I started working, my friends changed, you know, my friend circle changed, and just people just came and gone. And she's talking about being in a crowded place but turning around and finding that you're in love with outer space. And for me, this was my dream for Japan. I wanted, my biggest dream since I was like 3 years old was to come to Japan. So for me, like being surrounded by family and friends and whatever, my biggest dream was to go to Japan.
Up the wrong tree, stumble, used to fall in great heights amidst a concrete jungle, singing cause it felt right. We mixed the ennui and troubles, rhyming our discontent. And though it's history, I can't forget the time that we spent, convinced that this could mean another end exists between
Okay. There's just so much into this song. Um, and she's talking about, well, the concrete jungle is, of course, being in a city. I used to be a band actually, or not just a band, but I used to be in bands when I was in high school and like a little bit after high school, and it never worked out for me. It never did. I'm really glad for Callie that it did, that she gets to get do music now. I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up. But for me, it never worked out. My bands never got anywhere. But like, we would go and see shows together. We would like walk around in the city and just sing and like, try to think of songs and things that happen like this. But she also finishes this verse by being like, is the me that I can never befriend. And it's like she feels like she missed her chance, like a twisted alter fiction where I missed my chance, did not ascend, and disappearing into the mist of never happened. um so for me too, like I was in bands, I really wanted to make it as a musician, and it never happened. And yeah. I'm still trying, man. I'm still trying.
Fade in, fade out. This race we dream without a direction, floating aimlessly. There's nothing left back there for me. Breathing, but it won't stop the rain from pouring on right through those nights. I'll never find my way back to you inside this labyrinth of light. There was madness in the meaning, never laughless. We were screaming at the top of our lungs to the numbness. This city never died, but was there ever a soul inside?
Okay, so um this crazy dream without the direction, floating aimlessly. um for me, I've always had my dream to come to Japan. So but for a long time, before I actually managed to go to university, I was just floating, I was in a rut. I didn't know how to make it happen. I was just letting life carry me around, and um just couldn't, I couldn't focus on anything. I was just letting everything, like, just getting carried around by the river, I guess. um uh yeah, and she's also saying like, breathe in, but it won't stop the rain from pouring. So like, even if you try to calm yourself down and trying to get, back into a good space, bad things never stop from happening. And or like, for me, my mental space has always been really iffy until, for most of my life. And this really hits really hard. um but yeah, and she also finished by, but was there ever a soul inside? So it's like, maybe there's this part that, for me anyway, sometimes I wonder, like, when I was younger, for a long time, it felt like I wasn't human. It felt like I was lifeless. I was just a doll going in with emotion and, not really um living. I felt like I wasn't alive. I felt like I was just like an empty doll, just walking around and going around with emotion, going to work, coming back home, doing nothing, sleeping. So yeah.
Chasing fireflies between the soaring high rises, left a trail behind to find it, wasting time of our lives. Silent singer, overworked and underpaid, inks and opposites, a coffin until off is where you're laid. Yet a thought persistent optimist who ought to be afraid, saw the nothing wrong in writing songs behind a lonely shade. Is the world a sadder place without the words that you conveyed? When the ladder fell and shattered every bar that we had played, does it matter
Okay, so this is where I start crying, guys. Yeah. So first she's talking about chasing fireflies between the soaring high rise. So I think it's more like chasing dreams, you know, and leaving a trail behind. Defined it as wasted time of our lives. You know, thinking that the path behind you where you were lifeless was just like wasting time because you weren't achieving anything. Um, Silent singer, overworked and overpaid, thinks an office is a coffin until off is where you're laid. Yeah. So, as someone very creative who always wanted to be a singer, who wanted to be known, who wanted to be an actress, who wanted to be many, many, many things. I didn't work in an office. Well, I did actually. I did. I worked in an office. I worked in grocery stores. I worked in, and it was, I always felt trapped when I was there, and it's like you're wasting your time, and you're not really alive when you're there. It's like a different place, right? And I think so. She felt. I feel like she felt, and I felt kind of dead or not existing when you're at work because you don't get to put your creativity in front, right? And um then she talks about yet um like there's always the optimism, but it's the optimism is there, but it's really you you feel like you have to hide it, or you feel like it's best not to think about it because you're not sure that you're going to be able to realize what you ever wanted to realize, you're not sure you're going to reach your dreams. But and like, is the world different because you exist or not? I've always wondered about that, and like being a VTuber now, I've I really feel it because when I was younger, whether I existed or not, it did not matter. It definitely did not matter. But now, sometimes I do feel like I do matter. And because of my chat. And yeah. And then one of the words that she says in the song that really, really affects me is, well, there's like, your friends grew tired of fantasy. You're wishing that they had stayed. You don't get to say I miss you. You watch your heroes fade. So it's like you're seeing yourself as a villain, right? Because you had your own dream, and because of that dream that you were working so hard to achieve, the people that you looked up to, the people that you cared about, slipped away and left because, well, we can't dream all our lives, right? We have to move on. People getting families, people like, I see my friends from my school like getting families and like happy families and stuff like that all the time on Facebook, um but yet I'm here by myself, still pushing for my dreams, you know but then you get to these lyrics, and those are the ones that make me so emotional every time I hear them. Stop the pity party, listen, you don't get to be dismayed. You don't get to be emotional. Feel blessed you got it made. these the best years of your life because you chose to make a trade. Recollect the days you hoped and prayed for this. What is there to miss? For me, I put everything aside, everything in my life aside to be where I am now. I put finding meaningful relationships, finding friends, maybe having a family, like the people I went to high school with. Um, Having a career in graphics design and play and making games. I put all of this aside because I wanted to come to Japan. Now I'm here. Now I'm in Japan. But now what? Am I allowed to feel upset? Am I allowed to be hurt and feel depressed? Because it was my choice to put everything aside when I was at university. It was my choice to put everything aside, to not pursue singing, to not pursue graphics design. It was my choice because I wanted to come to Japan so bad. Am I allowed to be upset now? Am I allowed to feel upset that I'm not in a VTuber company? Because I spent so many years like just giving up on so many things just to realize this one dream to be here. Okay, I'll stop it here. And I'll talk a little bit more. Um, just there, she said, what did she say? There's nothing there back there. There is nothing left back there for me. And that's something that I feel every day. A lot of people, like, especially my family, ask me, like, are you going to go back home? What am I going back to? There's nothing left back home for me. Yes, I have family, but all my things are here. My friend is here. My dreams are here. If I go back, what do I go back to? My pension is here. If I go back home, I don't have like pension. I don't have anything. I have family, but like because I work so hard to be here. If I leave, what's left back home? You know? Here, you hear so many things in the background. And I think it's a background because it's something that, you know, because probably Callie was pushing so hard to achieve her dream, and I was pushing so hard to achieve my dreams, I can kind of understand why it's in the background. Like, it's in the background because it feels like it just flew by through life because you're so focused on achieving things, something, that everything that happens to you just seems to fly by yourself, by you, you know? So it seems to be like in the background of your story and not in the foreground. It just like, whoop, it's gone. Like there was romance, there was self hate. Um, we've got no chance. There were school chimes till the trains run. Like and like she hands away like waking up now to the real life. So she feels like everything that happened before now was a dream. And I kind of feel like that a lot. But then she says, let me daydream till the next night. Because where we are, even though we work so hard to be where we are, sometimes where we are isn't where we want to be. And just daydreaming feels better than actual life sometimes.
I'll keep waiting for you. Waking up now to my real life. Let me daydream till the next flight. Drowning so long, I got older. Now the crowd's gone. Is it over? Is it over?
And finally, waking up to your real life. We talked about this one already. Let me daydream till the next flight. Um, Drowning so long, I got older. It feels like sometimes it feels like because there was so much bad things in your past that you were drowning, and I definitely feel it. I definitely feel it. And I got older. Now the crowd's gone. Is it over? So for Callie, she was a musician. She's still a musician, of course. But like feeling like your crowd, like what you were working for, is gone, or is it over? Like, is there still something there for me in life? And I feel that too. I'm not gonna lie, I feel it too. For me, is it too late? For me, okay, for me, um, I feel like is it too late? Like, am I too old? Is it too late for me to be a singer? Is it to be too late for me to make it as a VTuber? Um, I don't know. Is it too late? I don't know. I can't answer that. I wish I could, but I don't know. Is it too late for me to make it? I don't know.